Well, welcome everyone to our tonight's Zoom, our journey to wellness with a registered nurse. And that registered nurse happens to be Janet Miller. We're so fortunate to have Janet be able to spend the evening with us. And we're bringing this to you through Zoom while you're in your living room or your bedroom or wherever, being very, very comfortable. And we're going to be talking about health and wellness. So it's exciting to me. Janet is actually located now in Memphis, Tennessee, where she has made her home. However, she's not from Memphis, Tennessee originally. Her hometown she's in Mississippi. She's a Mississippi girl. But you see, she must love the South because she's still in this southern states. She stayed in the southern states. So Janet, being a registered nurse, her background has been in gastroenterology and some in cardiac care too. So, she did that. That was her work. And then she ended up, getting married and having children and some of, things change in your life, but her passion for health and wellness never did change. And so she's going to be sharing her story with us tonight. And I love to hear it. So I don't want to take her story away from her. I want her to be able to share it because when she does share it, oh my goodness, you see the passion she has for wellness. So Janet, I'd like to turn it over to you. I know you're going to be sharing the screen. So go ahead and take your time and get yourself set up and we will be patient.
Thank you. So I really appreciate this opportunity to be on, and wellness, yes, Mickey is right. Health and wellness is a real passion of mine. I would have to say that when I was in nursing school, I never thought about health and wellness. I just thought, people get sick, you write prescriptions. If you're really bad, you go to the hospital and hopefully you get better and you go home. And so it was all about treating everyone that was sick. And that's basically was the whole extent of my nursing school education. But what really inspired this journey for me to wellness was more about where I grew up, which was in the South in Mississippi on a farm. And because I lived on a farm and a good bit of land, my mother had a tremendously large garden. And so we had, fresh vegetables all the time. And I didn't know that the whole world didn't live like that. I mean, I was just in this bubble. And, I can barely remember any time that my mother brought home produce from the grocery store except for maybe lettuce. But she grew everything else and she canned what we didn't eat in the summer. And then we had it all winter long. So I was really fortunate. I developed a taste for, vegetables early in my life, and I've always loved them, not so much fruit, but a lot of vegetables. But as I journeyed on through life and I got married, started having children, started raising children, I wasn't on a farm anymore. And I was in a city and with 4 children. We were extremely busy. They all played multiple sports. We were involved in church activities. So we were on the go a lot. And in my heart, I knew that something was just not right. I watched the way they ate. I watched the food they were exposed to and all their sports and at their friends' houses. And I knew the right thing to do, and I tried to do the right thing, but it was really hard. So it was at that time that I began to, it was around the year, I guess, 2004. I was really maybe 2003, just frustrated because they were all teenagers, and the last one had just turned 13, and we were so busy. All 4 of them were, and I thought, you know what, they're eating so bad, but I don't know what to do about it. So we, had tried vitamins, and I thought that's just not working. It's all going in the toilet. So tonight I'm just going to share some things with you to take you through really what I saw happening and yet what I learned along the way. And I hope that you learned something from it, because I really do have a passion about all of this, because I see now looking back, oh my goodness, if I had not figured this out 12 years ago, I don't know where I would be, and I don't know where my children's health would be today. And now I have a granddaughter. And so, I'm just so glad, and I'm so thankful that I learned about prevention and wellness. So the first question I want to ask you is, my slideshow's not, are you fit or are you healthy? Because they're really two different things. And I love to talk to people about this because we see people that are very fit and you think, oh my gosh, they're so healthy. Look at them. I mean, they're rock solid. Look at those muscles, or look how trim they are. And it really has nothing to do with being healthy. There are plenty of people in this world that are very fit, but they're very, very unhealthy. And I'm sure you probably, if you sat there and thought about a few people in your lifetime that have been very fit and all of a sudden had a heart attack, and everyone goes, what happened? Well, let's look at the overall scope of Americans. I mean, just glance at these statistics real quick. And all of these statistics come from journals, from different associations and different really prestigious organizations, as you can see. I mean, look at the cancer rate and the heart disease rate. And this is what really started sending me down a road of being very concerned, because 12 years ago, I was 46 years old, and a lot of my friends, or friends of my friends, were being diagnosed with colon cancer and breast cancer. And then I was seeing heart disease everywhere, and I thought, what is going on? Like, when I was in nursing school, this was very unusual to see anyone really under the age of 60. Now, I went to nursing school back in the 70s, but still, that's not that long ago for it to all of a sudden have, just skyrocketed to the rate that it is now. But it was very rare to see someone under the age of 60 with cancer, and definitely not what we see today with, now it's nothing to see women and men with colon cancer in their 20s and 30s, and women with breast cancer in their 30s and 40s. It's common. And I was asking myself this question, what is happening? Like, this is really scary. And it was scary for me. And then I was looking at my children, and I was hearing so much about juvenile diabetes. And I thought, that used to be only adult onset diabetes, type 2 adult onset when I was in nursing school. And I felt like that everything was starting to be juvenile. They were putting juvenile in front of so many terms that used to be just that we would see and study about for adults. And this is really where my whole search of trying to figure out what was going on, because I looked at my children's health. I got really scared for my own health. And I thought, it's got to be, the way we're living. And I began to think about my own family's history and my mother's family and the longevity that they have had. And they really have. I mean, my grandmother lived to be 100. Every one of my aunts and uncles so far have lived to be in their 90s. And my mother is still living. And so, I thought, what was different? And I started thinking about their food. So thinking about this, I started looking at, my kids. What are they eating? Well, look at these statistics about children. By the age of 12, an estimated 70% of our children will have developed the beginning stages of the hardening of the arteries. I mean, that is shocking. Look at the diabetic, statistics, and the obesity. And then in the South, I think you all will agree, I mean, we do have a real epidemic of obesity. ADHD is skyrocketing, autism isn't even listed on here, but that is something that's a huge concern today. And we have to ask ourselves why. Well, Dr. David Katz, I don't know that if you all know him or not, but he's a really famous MD that's at Yale. He's also in the research center there. He says we live in a time when children are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to alcohol, drugs, and tobacco combined. And I'm like, whoa. Combined. I mean, you think about all the alcohol and the drug problems that I see going on. I mean, it's everywhere. And there's so many of my friends whose children have had to go to rehab. I mean, everyone on this call knows that this is a huge issue right now. But when you think about the diet is even more harmful, they're being harmed more by their diet. Well, when you look back at those statistics we just look at, you start to think, wow, this is something we can do something about this. And so, due to poor diet, Dr. Katz predicts that this generation of children will have a shorter lifespan expectancy than their parents. And that has never happened in our history. It's always been that the next generation outlived the previous one. Well, why are we so unhealthy? Well, we make poor food choices, and I think that we will all agree, life today is fast, quick, easy, and to get fast, quick, and easy and on the go, things are full of preservatives. That's the only way to make it happen. And so that's what our society has come down to. And to me, it just kind of snuck in and it grew. Well, where I was raised, there wasn't even a fast food restaurant, and there still isn't to this day. I was 18 years old before I had my first McDonald's hamburger. I mean, that's how unexposed I was to all of that. And so, but today that's just the norm. And, pizza, and especially our children with the activities they go to and when they go to college. And so poor food choices are a huge factor in why America is so unhealthy. Not drinking enough water. We need to exercise more. We all have very stressful lifestyles for the most part. I think America is probably more stressed out than we've ever been. I feel that way anyway. Environmental factors, you can't get away from the toxins that are in our society. They're just there. As much as you may try to do the right thing, you have toxins all around you that you breathe, what's in the air, what's on your clothes. Just everywhere you go, we are bombarded with toxins. Do we sleep enough? Well, the approach to medicine has always been to treat instead of prevent. Or people will just say, well, maybe it's just in, my genes and I can't help it. But the fact is the government has spent billions of dollars trying to find a cure for everything, heart disease, cancer, many other diseases. But their conclusion is that disease is easier to prevent than to cure. And that is true. Their recommendation now is 7 to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables every day. But the problem is almost no one can do that. And I really don't know anyone that does. And especially as we get into this a little more, you'll see why. Even if they are eating, someone may tell you they're eating 7 or 8, but it's probably not all the right kind. So, this is what we want to look at tonight. It's important to consider all the factors, the sleep, the stress, and everything. But tonight specifically, we're going to look at our diet. Because what it really comes down to, even if you're fit, even if you sleep enough, even if you manage your stress, if your diet is wrong and your nutrition is wrong, everything else, all that other is really not going to matter. I mean, it all starts. You've got to have right nutrition. You've got to eat right, and you've got to take care of the inside of your body with your nutrition. So the old recommendation, many of you probably remember, was a 5-a-day campaign. They used to have it in the produce section. Now it's 13 a day, but unfortunately, this is what America considers a vegetable. Ketchup, lettuce, French fries. No, I don't think that is makes the mark. It doesn't cut it. But unfortunately, that's what we see American consuming, right? And look at all the junk food and the fast food and the soft drinks. They're so full of sugar. I mean, sugar is everywhere and it's hidden in so many things. You've got to become a good label reader because sugar is so toxic. I didn't realize this. I did not learn this in nursing school. It wasn't until I was on this search and this journey of figuring out nutrition for my family that I realized how bad sugar really was for you. It suppresses your immune system terribly. It's not just because it can predispose you to, becoming a diabetic or the weight gain. It's terrible for your immune system and all the white stuff below. There is no nutrition in any of that. So we really need to work hard on eliminating the junk food and the white stuff. And look at just the sugar in this. Most people don't realize how much sugar there is. If you sat there and unwrapped all those cubes in a restaurant and put it in a glass of iced tea, would you not feel like an idiot? That's what I always ask people when I talk to people and I show this slide. I go, think about unwrapping all of that and then pouring that into your glass of iced tea. Well, that's what you're getting when you drink, these different sizes of Cokes. And the first two are easily one person would consume that. So, that's a lot of sugar. What I want to talk to you about right now is antioxidants, because this is what we need. This is how we focus on prevention. And the reason antioxidants are so important to have in your diet is because They are what protect all your cells. And if you don't have enough, your cells are left unprotected, just like this car. Do you see how this car is outside and it's rusting? Well, that's because it has a poor paint job. And so without a proper paint job to protect it, then the elements from nature are causing it to oxidize. It's having oxidation. And that's what's causing it to rust, just like this piece of sheet metal. So the more miles, the more rust, the more damage. It's the same way with your body. If you're not getting enough antioxidants, your body is rusting, your body is getting more miles, you're aging quicker. Antioxidants are actually anti-aging. So we want to think about our bodies in this way, because your cells every day, and your body is made up of millions and billions of cells. Every organ is made up of millions of cells, and they go through an oxidizing process. It's just natural. And the more you work out, or the more the busier you are, or the more stressed you may be, whatever is going on in your life, the more oxidation that takes place. So you really have to look at what's going on in your life, and it really doesn't matter if you're not doing anything, you're still having oxidation. It's just a natural process. So what happens when we have all this oxidation and it's left unprotected? Well, we are exposing ourselves to diseases when our cells are left unprotected from all the oxidation. You may have heard the term free radicals. It's basically the same thing. Your body produces free radicals when it's going through having all this oxidation take place. So look, at this list, this is just every day. I'm sure every one of you on this Zoom know people that have all of these. And, we're not even listing heart disease and cancers here, but all these diseases, some of these things I never even knew about, especially some of the autoimmune disorders like chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. They weren't even in my nursing school books. Those are all autoimmune disorders that have come about later, with time, which shows you, if we're having to come up with names for new diseases and we're not Xing any off the list, we are getting more unhealthy. America is not getting healthier. We are very unhealthy. And to be the most advanced in the world in medicine, that really blows my mind. It really does. But that tells me that it's about our lifestyle. It's really not about medicine. It's all about our lifestyle and learning how to prevent these things to begin with, because we're coming up with more diseases instead of, like I said, instead of minimizing. So what are we going to do? We've got to look at nutrition. And the law of good nutrition says there are no health problems that can't be helped by good nutrition, and there are none that won't get worse without it. And I truly believe that. My belief in that is so strong now, you can't shake it. And I'm going to tell you, your health, it can be helped by good nutrition, but I can promise you, without good nutrition in your life, you will get worse. Your body will break down at some point, and you're going to have problems. And this is something I just love. This is one of the most exciting things I think that has come about in the last few years. And I encourage you to Google this. It's called the science of epigenetics. And what this talks about, do you remember on the earlier slide when I said, prevention is easier than to cure? Or some people would just say, well, it's just in my genes. Well, that is not necessarily your fate. Yeah, there's a lot of things that might be in your genes, in your history of your family, but that doesn't mean that you have to accept that that's going to be your life and that's going to be what happens to you. So why try? I hear that so many times. Why should I even try? Because this is in my family and I'm going to have it. I'm going to have high cholesterol. I'm going to have heart problems. That is not necessarily true. So the study of epigenetics, what this shows, and this was a huge article in Time Magazine several years ago, and like I said, Google it and look it up. This is so exciting. You can actually turn off the bad genetic code in your body and turn on the good genes by what you eat. And if you fill your body with enough good nutrition, you can actually flip those switches. So let's take that a little further. What if a mom is pregnant and that baby is in the womb and that mom is really filling her body with a lot of good nutrition? Do you know that she can actually through her nutrition that the baby's receiving, that baby can be born with the genetic switches off of the bad genes that's been in that family for generations. And that baby can be born with those genes turned off and totally change the history forward of that family, of something that may have been in their family for a long time. Isn't that exciting? I mean, that just makes me want to scream. Like, everybody, you have to look at your nutrition, and moms, pregnant moms, this is so important. You could totally change what happens with that baby from then forward by what you do when that baby is in the womb. So, but for you, that aren't pregnant on this call, we can do this too. You can turn off the bad switches and turn on the new switches, the good switches for your health and the good genes. But look at this poster that the American Cancer Society has. What's on here? This is their poster. It's all fruits and vegetables. So what are we going to do? Because we have a gap. Wouldn't you agree that most people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables? I know I didn't, and I know it's hard for me to still do it today. But what do most people do? They fill it with isolated supplements. But you know what? That's very confusing. And this is where I found myself when my children were growing up, and I would walk in the store and this is what I would see. And I would look on the shelves and I'd go, I don't even know what to do. I'm a nurse and this is all so confusing. And even if I did pick out a multivitamin, there's like 20 brands here. Which one is the best brand? I don't know what to do. And then I would see an isolated vitamin, and then and I was like, forget it. And I would turn around and walk out. Well, it became very clear to me through some information that was shared with me that we need to get our nutrition from whole food nutrition. We need to get all those vitamins from whole food nutrition, and we need to eat more fruits and vegetables. We need 9 to 13. And you know what? Every vitamin that was on that shelf in all those bottles are in fruits and veggies. But here's the difference. When I was looking at those isolated vitamins, this chart to the right, these are all phytonutrients. And this is just a very small list of phytonutrients of what is in an apple. So when I was looking at, let's say, vitamin C to buy, everything you see to the right was left out of that bottle. Well, guess what? All of this on the right, these are the phytonutrients that are the healing properties that are in the food. When you get vitamin C, when you buy vitamin C, you're just getting vitamin C. And so that was never meant to be to work by itself. It was meant to work with all these beautiful phytonutrients over to the right. And like I said, this is just a very partial list. And when they're together in the whole food, it creates a synergy and they all work together properly. That is the way God meant for it to be. He meant for you to get your vitamins and all your phytonutrients together in the food. Your body recognizes food. It knows what to do with it. It doesn't recognize man-made vitamins as well, and you can actually get very toxic from certain vitamins if you have too much of it. So you don't really know what to take. That's the way I feel with vitamins. How do you know how much you need of anything? But when you eat the food, you're going to get the proper amount because your body recognizes what to do with the vitamins and all those phytonutrients. It knows what you need and it knows what it needs to excrete. So here's the problem. Our food, it needs to be fresh. When I said that maybe some people will say they eat 7 or 8 or 9 a day, they may, but is it fresh and is it raw? Is it ripe or has it been cooked to death? Well, most Americans still, I would say, eat less than 5 a day, and what they do eat is not right, and it's cooked, and it's cooked a lot. So this is where I woke up one day and someone introduced me, gave me some information about Juice Plus. And when I listened to it, I listened to several different doctors and a biochemist and a nutritionist, and I was completely blown away. And to sit here and tell you that it was any less of an experience than that would be a lie, because I literally ran to the phone and called the person who had asked me to look at this information. And let me tell you, when I looked at it, I wasn't expecting anything. In fact, I wasn't even, I was pretty skeptical because I had become a real skeptic from going in all the stores and walking out empty-handed. So this was very exciting to me because what I saw fruits, veggies, berries that came in a capsule or a soft chewable, and I saw easy, convenient. Also, there's a protein drink mix that is just fabulous that's also plant-based, and great protein bars. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is the way to bridge the gap. This is what we need. This is what I've been looking for. This is my mother's garden. That's the way I felt. And it was like, I love this because it's easy and it's convenient, and my children can get 30 different fruits and veggies and berries and grains every day. You've got to be kidding. Like, what peace of mind is that for, as a mom, for my children, but also, for myself, that I can get this every day, no matter what our life was filled with that day, whether we had time to even try to eat properly, especially when they went off to college and I had no control over what they were eating. And it was what I loved is the fact that it's picked at the peak of ripeness, and then it's juiced just like you would try to juice at home. They juice it for you, and it's juiced within 24 hours. It doesn't sit around in a warehouse, and it's dried at a low temperature process, and the water is removed, and they take the powders and they put it in a capsule or a chewable. It's chemical free. It's totally clean, kosher certified. You can't get any cleaner than that. Gluten free, all non-GMO, and what I love is this NSF certification that you see. And I don't know if all of y'all really know how important that is, but you should never ever buy anything that doesn't have that written on there. And I just learned the other day from a YouTube that I listened to that there are about 55,000 supplements on the market. You think about that. And less than 1% have this NSF certification. And what this means is that what's on that label is in the bottle. So what the company says is in their bottle, and what's on the label will match up. There's nothing hidden. You're not, you don't have to wonder, oh, they say this is on here, I wonder if it really is. If it has this NSF certification on it, you can trust it. You can trust it. And that is something that I have learned is a huge thing. And we need to trust what we take. We need to know that this product is real. And now I can't imagine taking something that I don't know this about. Look at all these beautiful fruits and veggies and berries and a few grains that are in Juice Plus. If you take the trio and the complete, look at all this. It's so many plants. You think about that going through your body every day. Can you imagine how healthy your body over a period of time would become if every cell in your body was absorbing this every day? And that's what you get when you take Juice Plus. But here's what really separates Juice Plus from everything. And as a nurse, this sold me. I mean, this is what really got me excited, besides the fact that it was the whole food and it was vine ripened and it was clean and all those other good things, is that it is researched by supported by leading health professionals, but it's also researched and in peer-reviewed journals. And it's the most researched nutritional brand market on the market today. And the research is all done by prestigious medical universities. And I'm going to show you that list in a minute. But look at all these research journals. I mean, this is just a small amount, but we have now right at 35 or 36 published studies. And as a nurse, here's what that told me. I knew this. I know how hard it is to get anything published in a journal. And I'm like, wow, this is a big deal. If they're having medical universities to do their research, they're going outside of the company's not doing the research. They are handing it over to medical universities. And then these medical universities are doing the research. Here's just a list for you to look at. I mean, that's powerful right there. This spoke volumes to me because I thought, Look at that. Vanderbilt, Wake Forest, MD Anderson, Brigham Young. The list goes on and on and on. Yale. If the company is going to these people to do the research, and these medical universities have their name on our brochures, then I think I can trust the research. I think I can trust what they say is true. And I was like, wow, this is a no-brainer, because I know they're not going to not print the truth. They can't afford to. They can't afford to jeopardize their reputation. They already have a good reputation without Juice Plus. Why would they go and jeopardize that by maybe printing something that's not true? So they wouldn't. So that was just huge for me. And I remember standing in the room that day going, wow, like, I can't believe this exists. I can't believe there's a product on the market that has this much research and by this many prestigious medical university. And what that said to me was, Janet, you can trust this. And you can lay down at night and know that what you're putting in your children's body every day and in your own body is the best there is out there. And it is, y'all. I mean, you're not going to find this anywhere else. If you find a product that even has one study on it, you're doing good. It's just not out there. This company is committed to doing research. They're continuing to do research. And the research shows that it's bioavailable. You're absorbing it. That's the first thing you need to know. You're absorbing it, right? Because if you're not absorbing it, what good is it doing? It supports cardiovascular health. It is great for your immune system. It makes it very strong. It brings it into balance. It protects your DNA. It reduces inflammation. And I'm going to talk about that for just a minute. And skin study, great for your skin. We have dental studies, and look at the ongoing studies that are continuing to be done. I mean, this company that makes Juice Plus is committed to research, and I love that. They're not going on testimonials, and I love that. So the research is huge. Now, the other factor that I'm very excited about is the fact that they have a children's health study, and the children's health study has been in effect now for over 12, 13 years, and they have almost 1 million children right now that are getting Juice Plus for free. And so the kids, if you're between the ages of 4 all the way through full-time college, and then there's an adult taking Juice Plus, they can sponsor a child. It doesn't even have to be their own child. One adult can sponsor a child to get Juice Plus for free. Isn't that amazing? For 4 years, they can take the capsules or the chewables, and they will get the fruit and the veggie brand. And so one adult sponsors one child. And look at just what we've seen in the kids. The kids are eating better. They're drinking more water. They're missing less school. They're taking less medications. I mean, that's a win-win. And I'll have to say the adults are experiencing the same thing. But how awesome. And this is what I saw happen to my children. My children got so healthy so quick. But the biggest thing I saw was the ones of mine that did not like to eat healthy food. Within about 8 months of being on Juice Plus, their whole palate and what they craved started changing. And they started wanting the spinach salads, and they started eating broccoli, and they started eating a lot more nutritious things that I had been trying to get them to eat for years. And that's all because they were eating Juice Plus every day, and it started changing started reprogramming what they were craving. And so it's called metabolic reprogramming. So I love this. So if kids, the younger they get started on Juice Plus, their outlook and their future is so positive to be good eaters and to choose healthy foods and to want to eat them. I mean, not forcing them. They actually crave them. So we've already talked about that Juice Plus is the most research product on the market. I just want to touch on the Shape Mix real quick because it is so powerful. This is something that I don't go a day without. It's all plant-based, 13 grams of protein, lots of fiber, low glycemic, and this is so important. Gluten-free and non-dairy, and look at the cost. I mean, y'all, this is such an affordable smoothie. When you think about what they cost when you go to these smoothie bars, a Smoothie King, some of these great new health restaurants, which is fabulous that these are coming up everywhere, but you order a smoothie, you're going to pay $7, $8, or $9. And so this is something that I wouldn't go a day without this either now. It's just part of my diet every day, the shake mix and the trio. And I want to talk to you about the cost. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because if you're interested in ordering Juice Plus, and I hope you are after listening to this, you're going to want to know about it. So I think, why not address it right now? Because what I want to tell you is, in my opinion, that's one of the best parts of Juice Plus. Look at what you're getting for just a few dollars a day. I recommend as a nurse that everyone start on the trio. I think everyone needs the fruit, veggies, and the vineyard. The vineyard is so powerful when you put all those berries in your diet. It's so great for your immune system, for your circulation, for your heart. I mean, I just can't stress the berries enough. And the fruits and veggies come together anyway. That is our base product. But most people today go ahead and get on the trio. But look at what it is. I mean, for $2.37 a day, some places have food tax. So let's just say, even if it's $2.50 a day, you can't even buy 3 apples for $2.50 anymore. You can't even get a cup of coffee at Starbucks for that. And look at what you're getting. When you get the trio, you are getting 30 fruits and vegetables and berries and grains every day circulating through your body. That's something. I mean, that's amazing. And then if you have a child on the Children's Health Study, half of that is the child getting their product for free. So think about what you're spending now. Some of you may be on supplements already. I have a lot of friends who are spending more than this with all these isolated supplements, and they cut them all out. They actually saved money by getting on Juice Plus, because what they were doing was even more expensive. But even if you're not doing anything, think about trying to buy all that produce, or even half of that produce. Like I said, you can't even buy 3 apples for that, 3 decent apples. I mean, produce is so expensive. So I think the price is a no-brainer. I can't even imagine that that this could be even an issue now that I know what I know about Juice Plus, and I know what it's doing in my body every day. Americans don't think anything about going out and getting a Starbucks, do they? Or a glass of wine. It's like, okay, but what are we getting in our Juice Plus for a little over $2 a day? And if you add a shake to it, which can be a meal replacement or just a snack, or a great thing to do when you get out of the gym after you work out. It's a great recovery drink after you've worked out. Even if you did both of those, it's still less than a glass of wine. It's still less than a lot of your Starbucks drinks. And there's over 45 plant foods between the complete mix and the trio. Think about that. Y'all, Juice Plus and what it has done for my family has been amazing. And I want to end just by saying, when I talked earlier about inflammation, and that's one of our big studies, I just want you to know that everything really that happens and starts in your body, starts even from a cut that gets infected all the way to heart disease and cancer. It starts with inflammation. And what you want to do is decrease inflammation in your body. And Juice Plus has been shown to do that, and do it very, very effectively. And the only way that you can take care of the inside of your body is with plant food. Y'all, that is it. And you've got to get those antioxidants in your diet. You have to, because you cannot combat the oxidative stress that we talked about when I showed the car resting and said that's what's happening on the inside of your body. You're aging at a very fast rate on the inside of your body. You still may look great on the outside. And I know a lot of us, including myself, we buy those expensive creams and we do what we do to make the outside great. But y'all, the inside, if you're not taking care of your inside, it's going to show up on the outside. Plus your insides you'll start having issues, but it all starts with inflammation. So the only place you can get antioxidants is in fruits and vegetables. It's the only place. And that's where the word antioxidants comes from, is because antioxidants means that it is combating oxidative stress. So just know that it's real important. Fruits and vegetables are real important. And Juice Plus, in my opinion, is the answer, because not only is it real food, it's backed by science, it's convenient, and it's simple. and you can do it, and it's affordable. And you're never, ever going to find anything on the market that has the quality and is backed with the science that this has, which means that you can trust it. And that's what you want. You want something that you can trust. So thank you all tonight. I appreciate you listening. This has been fun. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that if you're not taking Juice Plus, that you'll get with the person that invited you immediately, and you will order and get started on it right away. I promise you, I've been on it for 12 years, and I would never, ever go a day without it now. There's no way I would do without a lot of things before I would stop taking Juice Plus. So thank you a lot, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Janet. And if you would just stop sharing the screen for a minute so that we could get everybody back on. There you go. Yeah, that was wonderful. And I just really never can have enough of learning more about health and wellness. I mean, it's our lives, it's our bodies. If we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to do that for us? So, gosh, I don't know about all of you, but I have pages of notes, and I promise you, this is not the first time that I've ever heard Janet Miller speak, but tons of notes again this time. Next month on May 11th, we have another registered nurse by the name of Cindy Hodges already scheduled. So it'll be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Cindy Hodges, registered nurse, and we will be sending out the promotions for it shortly so that everybody can be prepared. And, you know, if you have someone that you love, that you care about, well, then I suggest you do two things. The first thing you have to do is teach them how to load up this Zoom app and get it ready so that they know how to get on. And the second thing is remind them about April 11th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank all of you for joining us, and we appreciate having you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.